Who doesn't like focaccia? It is an amazing, soft, delicious bread. I make it in so many different ways, and this is one of them. I actually have a quicker version on my YouTube. I'll leave the link in the description box below. But this one is the spoiled one. It starts with a poolish or a starter. You're basically gonna mix 300 grams of bread flour, add to that a little bit of honey and 1 teaspoon of instant yeast. You're gonna mix the dry ingredients together and then add 300 milliliters of water. It's gonna be a very shaggy, soft dough. You're gonna cover it, let it rest for 30 minutes on the counter and then in the fridge overnight. You want it to ferment overnight. What I really love about this recipe, not only does it make a great focaccia, it makes an awesome pizza dough. And this is how the dough should look like. And like I said, every flour is different. We're using here bread flour. This is the consistency that you're looking for. You're gonna cover it, like I said, half an hour and then in the fridge for 16 hours. And this is how it's gonna look after 16 hours. Look at the beautiful fermentation and all these bubbles. I let it rest for 15 minutes and then I'm gonna add some water, about 1 cup of water, and I'm gonna mix the dough with the water. It's gonna become very watery. Don't be afraid to do this step. You're not gonna ruin the dough. You're gonna add about 600 grams of bread flour on top of this mixture. You're gonna add salt to the flour, of course, about half a tablespoon. You're gonna knead the dough for at least 10 minutes until it becomes nice and bouncy. You want it to be a little sticky still. You don't want it to be too tough. When I start kneading the dough, I'm gonna add some more water, and room temperature water is quite enough. You don't want it to be warm. I'm gonna add another cup of water. So in total, I added 2 cups of water. But like I said, every flour is different. And I hope you can tell how the dough looks like from looking at it. It's gonna be a little sticky. I'm gonna add a touch of olive oil, 2 tablespoons. Continue kneading the dough 5 to 10 minutes and it's gonna bounce back. When you push on the dough, it should bounce back. You'll know it's ready. At this point, you can place in a casserole, let it rise for 1 to 2 hours and then bake. Or you can do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna place it in a bowl, let it rise one more time overnight. You won't regret it, I promise. Especially if you want to use some of the dough for pizza, you're gonna have an amazing pizza, an amazing focaccia as well. And like I said, if you're impatient and you want a quick focaccia, I have the perfect quick recipe, a couple of hours on my YouTube. Check it out. I'll leave the link in the description box below, as well as all the amounts and all the ingredients for this recipe. The wait is over and look at this dough, amazing. I'm gonna place it in a casserole and let it rest one last time. I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of a great extra virgin olive oil. Spread it. Spread the dough. Fold it 1 or 2 times gently. Spread it all over the casserole. It's still cold. I'm gonna let it come to room temperature, let it rest for 2 hours, and then bake at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. This is a 9 by 13 inch pan. If you want it to be a little thinner, you can bake in a bigger pan. I'm gonna cover it, let it rest for 2 hours. Meanwhile, I'm gonna prep my sides. You can literally top with whatever your heart desires: olives, rosemary, salt, garlic, roasted tomatoes. I love to add marinated roasted tomatoes, rosemary, a little bit of garlic that I warmed up in a little bit of olive oil. I'm gonna keep it simple. And now is the fun part. When you get to dimple the dough, you're gonna see how airy and bubbly the dough is. Can you see how light it is? Can you see all these bubbles? I'm really proud how this came out. I'm gonna try to hide the tomatoes inside all of these deep holes. I don't want it to burn. And the garlic as well. Top with a little bit of fresh rosemary and some coarse salt and bake. It's a big piece of dough, so it's gonna take some good time in the oven, between 30 to 40 minutes depending on the oven. If it starts to become too crispy on top, you can cover it a little bit and let it continue cooking. Watch it and use your judgment. The perfect focaccia. Make it. Let me know what you think in the comments box below. And until next time, bon appétit!